Hi guys, how to use mutual fund calculator. So I made this video as supplement to my previous video, which is about mutual funds and the top performing mutual funds in the Philippines. And now I'm going to share how to use mutual fund calculator to achieve three basic things. Number one, how to know the growth of a certain fund or a certain amount that you will invest. And secondly, comparing the different mutual funds in the Philippines and the differences of their yields through time. And then third is having your financial goals set. So this calculator will teach you how much funds or amount to set aside to achieve your goals. Here we go. So I'm using this calculator from our fund source. This is one of the most popular stock market broker and mutual fund broker as well in the Philippines. All fund source will help us identify those three items. Calculator should help us. Number one, knowing how much yield we can enjoy through time. Peso amount. So this one is called mutual fund calculator, can be used to calculate the after expense growth and equivalent annual yield of an individual mutual fund. So to use this calculator, enter the peso amount to invest, the number of years you plan to hold the fund, and the assumed rate of return. There are three variables here. Peso amount of investment. So how much money would you like to set aside right now? So this means one-time investment. So let's say, for example, 100,000, and number of years you plan to hold the investment. So let's say 10 years, or let's just make this very long term for your retirement. So since most of my viewers are around 25 to 33 years old, the median is 30 years old. And you want to use this amount for your retirement, you want to set this aside. So 30 plus 30, and assumed rate of return, we will base this based on our previous video wherein we identified the top mutual funds in the Philippines. There are three major categories: aggressive, balanced, and funds. Per se, let's use the aggressive funds here. These are the top mutual funds in the Philippines as of 2019. We identified aggressive, balanced, and conservative. And among the aggressive mutual funds, 5-year performance, let's use this. We identified this mutual fund, which is Phil Equity, with the highest yield of 5.80 in the span of 5 years. Okay, so let's use that as the basis, regardless of the other factors that might come in, such as the volatility, that it's not guaranteed, such as what's happening right now. There's a COVID-19 crisis, which really turned prices, NAV PS prices, through time. Without considering that, assuming that this is the average growth in the next 30 years. So let's calculate the results. In your retirement year, from 30 years old up to 60 years old, your 100,000 could become 542,713 at the age of 60, assuming that these variables are true. Next, number two, comparing different MF vehicles. Maybe you are not sure where to put it, so we use this comparative return calculator. And let's put 100,000 there, and let's say your investment period is 5 years, which is the maximum in the options. The results show the different growth yields that your money has achieved. So for conservative, it's 6,000 plus. For moderately, for bonds, it's 39,000. By the way, the more conservative than bonds are money market funds. Okay. And for balance, you achieved almost double in 5 years. And for equity, you have grown your money to more than 140,000 pesos. Okay, so assuming that all these factors, such as steady economy, are in the right place. So please note that these calculations are based on the average historical performance of each category. This is based on historical performance, which has happened in the last 5 years. So again, please note that returns are not guaranteed, and past performance is not indicative of future returns. We really don't know about the future. The future is uncertain. That's why it's called investment. There's an amount of risk involved for exposing your money to growth. Please consider your investor profile as you decide on the fund to invest in. So please visit the link at my description below to know more about your investor profile, to know more about mutual funds. I have made a blog here at my website. And the last purpose that a calculator can help is the financial goals. Knowing additional monthly investments. You can determine how much money you should set aside to achieve a certain milestone, to achieve a certain amount for your life goals. So here at the third tab, amount you want to achieve. So let's say I already placed 2 million for your retirement. So let's be more precise. For example, already retired, you no longer have an income, and how much is the expected expenses, for example. So let's say for now, just a very conservative guess, a person lives in a month for 20,000, that's the cost of living. And 30 years from now, if you're 30 years old, there's inflation, right? So let's say the inflation rate is, what's the inflation rate? Let's try to research. Philippines. It's 2.25%. So 2.25 or 0.025 times 30, because it's 30 years from now, it's 0.75. So we plus 1 because we will multiply it to the monthly expenses now, which is 20,000. So 30 years from now, buying power of 20,000 will inflate to 35,000. So what you can buy now with 20K, assuming that the inflation rate is 2.25 steady, it's 35K. You would need 35K a month when you retire. So let's say this is just purely about guessing, about assuming. We don't know what life will bring us or how God will end our lives when He will appoint us to death. As Hebrews says, it is appointed unto man once to die, and after this, the judgment. So it is God who determines our life. We will face the judgment seat. If we don't have Christ, we will suffer separation from God. If we have Christ, then we will be in the presence of God forever. But going back, it's 35K, assuming that you will live for another 20 years. Okay, so 35,000 times 12 months. Okay, so that's 1 year. This is what you need for a year times 20 years. Let's say your lifespan would be until 80 years old. So I guess this is too much, 8.4 million. But just using this as an example, let's go to the calculator. And for you to live, for you to sustain your lifestyle and your expenses for 20 years without any income, so 8.4 million. And let's say at 30, you're really broke. You lost your job because of the virus. You really have zero. And you have 30 years more to prepare. And assuming that the rate of return is based on Phil Equity's performance, which is, let's go back again, which is 5.8. Okay, 5.8, calculating. So your required additional monthly investment is 8,894 to achieve 8.4 million by the age of 60, so that you can sustain your expenses for the next 20 years. So these are just the figures. So can you set aside 8,894 per month plus expose it to the rate of return? That's what the calculator gives us. Okay, but assuming you already have 100,000, let's say, it becomes lower. Let's say you have assets worth, maybe you have a house now that's a little bit bigger, and you might sell that in the future, or maybe a land. You already have 1.5 house, 100 square meter house. Okay, so but you have to liquidate this 1.5 and invest it in this rate of return. Okay, so assuming those are the things that you can do. So as an advisor, as a financial advisor, I look at these things. I talk to the client. I see their goals, their pains, their challenges, and recommend a certain solution for that. No one size fits all clients, but it's really about customized approach, how we approach our challenges together. So yeah, assuming that zero, and let's say you just have to live for 10 years, I don't know. So let's make it 4.2 million, and let's calculate the results. So of course, it lowers to half, 4,000 plus per month you set aside to achieve that 4.2 million by the age of your retirement. Right? So this is a mutual fund calculator. For more tips, for more updated tips, I am updating this page on my blog, Brian Verosa Mutual Funds, or go to the link at the description of this video, or go to the comment section. I will place the link and visit that link for more information and tips. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. John 3:16. Bye-bye.